Hey, 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 it is Friday, March 14th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on the West Coast. I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. So, we as a collective of martial arts school owners, small business owners, entrepreneurs, we're trying to figure out this thing called life. And I say life because when we try to say that, it's not personal, it's business. No, our business is very personal to us because most of us are small business owners, right? We go in there and we grind. We want to create that freedom of time to spend with our family and raise our kids and save for our retirement and, put our kids through college, own a home, things like that. Um, as well, as we want to genuinely have purpose and impact people's lives and give back to the communities that give so much to us. So we offer you this show every week. Success Never Sleeps to do just that. And we're very proud and grateful to say, I think it's like, what is it now, Mark? 170th episode or 171? 171 episodes. We've been doing this now. So I feel very, very proud. We got Bob Poole, as always, from Goals Martial Arts. I bet Bob has been here for all 170 episodes. Have you, Bob? As you come aboard, say hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from. We appreciate you, and that means so much to us. So let's begin by thanking our sponsors, who I love with all my heart. These aren't just sponsors. These are people whose services we use in our businesses, and they have great impact on helping us fulfill our purpose and, of course, our bottom line. That would be Tusa, who I believe is one of the unsung heroes in martial arts supplies. They may not be as big as the other big boys, but the heart and soul of that family, I've had the blessing since the 90s. Yep, my dad was one of their first clients. So it's really a trip to watch them flourish to being the martial arts supplier for the Olympians in Taekwondo, as well as branching out into martial arts, karate, jujitsu, and other industries. Market Muscles, innovators. When you look at people like Market Muscles in my studio, they are software companies in essence. Of course, we say Market Muscles is a website company, but there's so much more than that. So when you're leveraging AI to the benefit of the martial arts industry, where you're balancing that with humanists and great company, is that humanists? With humanists. Oh, is that a word, Marco? When you're balancing it that way, and you're also martial artists, which both Tu and Stephen are. I'm very, very grateful and humbled to stand shoulder to shoulder with them in impacting our industry and make a difference. Kids love life skills. We're gonna get you. We're almost there, Marco. Everybody, we're almost there. We're ready to launch our new website and move to a subscription-based model, which is going to give you access to 40 different life skills. It's going to give you access to online videos, social media posts. It's going to give you access to a training that we're going to hold on a monthly basis so that we can help you, the school owner, better all areas of what you do. And of course, the product itself, what it does in our schools and for schools around the world, like Ralph Hodel in Switzerland, who has excellent martial arts. We're blessed. We're extremely blessed. And we hope you choose to partner with us, because one of the number one reasons parents seek out martial arts schools is life skills education. Cool. And of course, LC Accounting, my sister Letitia, keeps many of us on the straight and narrow with her bookkeeping services and her disciplined approach to bookkeeping. For me, is what's helped me for close to a decade now, since I started working with my sister. And I am proud to not only say she's my sister, but she's excellent at what she does. And of course, the new kids on the block in our sponsorship would be Kin Creative. Again, a team out of Canada of brothers and sisters, best friends, cousins, really helping tell the stories of martial arts schools to help them move that needle. I think the hardest part for our industry is recognizing we need to spend money on marketing. We absolutely do. You don't market one way to 70 people, you market 70 ways. And if you don't have a digital media component where you're running Facebook ads, Instagram ads, things of that nature, then I'm going to challenge you on raising the bar in that part of your business. And I believe Kin Creative can accommodate just that. Cool. Tell them what we got coming up, Marco. It's Time Live Group Mentoring, which is an ongoing thing. I was born out of my wisdom program, and I found there was only an elite number of school owners that could afford my wisdom program. And I wanted to make something more accessible, because I know in your budgeting, as you're trying to grow that school from 100 to 200 to 300, that you need us. You need us. Without my mentors, I would have figured it out, but it probably took, 30, 40 years longer. You need a mentor, not a consultant. You need a mentor. You need a partner. You need a best friend. And somebody called me yesterday twice, and we just joked about it. I mean, the ability on the day-to-day grind, I think, is what's harder. This once a month, Zoom webinar, and we give you a lesson plan to study or a course to go over is one thing, but the not the luxury. I think that's a bad word. I think the support and the confidence to know that somebody's there for you, night and day, 24/7, 365 is real, real important. And I've assembled a team that I believe in and people I love, people that will go out there that are in the grind like you. I taught 5 hours yesterday, right? I mean, we're still in it. And I think that makes a huge difference. And that's what separates us from the rest of the pack is I don't sit in a glass house and hypothesize about curriculum design. I was out there, testing it over the past couple of months because the team said to me, we know better than you because we teach it and you don't. And that was very eye-opening. And if I'm that far away from the curriculum, how can I design it? Right. But graciously, I've been working hard. The other night, I stayed up till 2:30 in the morning re-recording curriculum video. I think one of the best moves I did was purchasing my own camera equipment because it allows us to design curriculum, test it in the classroom. If it doesn't work, re-record that video. And that's huge, huge, not huge, huge. It's such a game changer. We used to wait every 7 to 10 years to get somebody in there to produce, record, edit, author. And now with today's technology, it's just not necessary. So if we understand we make the bulk of our revenue on the mat, why aren't we spending a bulk of our money there? Bettering our curriculum, bettering our team. Because it's not glamorous. It's not instant gratification. It's the farmer mentality, right? You don't get crop the minute you rototill that ground and plant new seed. It's the same thing here. When you're redesigning that curriculum and you're testing it, you won't see the benefits of that from anywhere from 6 months to a year easily. Easily when you watch retention go up, you watch attrition go down, you watch more people go from trial to conversion. And that's why this is my lead in. This is very important as we talk about getting from, a trial to convert. Want to convert those trials, and there's a whole process that supports that. But if culturally you've got a community that knows you're dedicated to that, and they know you're upgrading videos, and they know you're doing those things constantly, consistently, then and only then will they start really believing and referring you to other people. And so with our It's Time mentoring, you need to get aboard. And if you haven't, inquire, talk to Marco, Jason, or Monique, or myself, and we're happy to give you the lowdown on that. Cool? All right, and we'll plug the other things at the end, Marco, because that was a great segue in today's subject, our topic about converting those trials, right? I think we want to go back a couple of steps. And if you're here, say hello. James, Resilient Martial Arts. What's happening, James? How you doing, sir? Going back a few more steps, right? The first step I'm going to share with you is getting them through the door. How are you doing that? Right? Let's say you have a website. They opt into the website. Great. What's the first text you send them? Right? Or do you personally call them? What's the email flow? Right? Because the first thing we want to do is get them from a lead to a trial. And if there's great storytelling in there, there's more likely that lead will sign up for a trial class. And because you've told the story so well, they go from trial to actually walking through that door, almost ready to sign. Right? Stephen Reinstein of Market Muscles taught me a term, research Rita. Write it down. Research Rita is the ideal avatar. She looks at your Google business page. She looks at your Google reviews. She looks at your website. She looks at your social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you got going on. She'll look at all of them. She'll ask other moms at the elementary school pickup. She'll know these things before she ever walks through your door. I love those people because really it's just a matter of test driving it and they're ready to go. It's like when I bought my last couple of cars. I did my research. I knew what I wanted to pay. I knew what features they had, all of it. All of it. And that is where the internet can be such an asset and to your advantage, and why I express to all my clients, watch your social media. Watch what you post. Please watch what you post. I would never show up at my One Martial Arts pages in a black beanie and a hoodie. It would never happen. This ego, this alter ego has been developed to separate me, Brannon, the mentor, from the schools completely. So I'm ever mindful of that. Um, because I do know when somebody sees a car talk, half the time, most of my parents don't even know it's me. So again, I want them coming through that door stronger because people say, well, I'm only converting at 50%. Or the guy who says he's converting at 90%, he probably gets 2 new leads a month, right? When you're doing numbers like we did 100 new students in January. I can't tell you how many people came through the pipeline, though, that didn't sign up, right? Offhand. So we're always going to be playing a certain amount of a numbers game. So my goal is to get them primed. And by the time they walk through that door, they already have a clear picture of who we are. And it's almost like, let me just sign on the dotted line. So take a look at that process for a moment. What does your website look like? Does it tell a compelling story? Or is it simply sales written? Does that little clock on the bottom, which I think is appalling, by the way, saying you have, 7 minutes to sign up for a trial class or a limited number of space? Now, can I call it? Can we say this collectively? One, two, three. Bullshit. You tell me we only have a limited number of spaces for a trial. That will never happen in a martial arts school. Never, never, ever. You might have a unicorn with a waiting list for one class, but overall, we are always, always with open arms ready to receive more trials, correct? So that sense of authenticity is really important. Like I was going over an email flow and I chat GPT, I asked it, what do you think of my email here? What can I do better? And you know what it said? You need to say scarcity on the bottom. Spaces are limited. Time's running out. And I said, nah, that's not, I'm not doing that. But see, ChatGPT is grabbing from what the majority of the industry calls best practices, right? Best practices. And so I'm not going to put spaces limited. Time's running out. I'm not going to do that because if you definitely want to create a wedge between you and a trial, you know, guilt them, corner them, use fear-based marketing. They won't come through the door, right? They won't come through that door. Time's running out. If you don't sign up for a trial, your spot's going to be gone. What kind of parent are you? Right? Please don't do that. Don't. You deserve better. Our industry deserves better. And until we're ready to believe that and step up to the plate, there'll still be practices like that in our industry. Have I beaten that one down? Yeah. So when I change that line to, um, we'll always have a spot waiting for you, or something like, we have a spot waiting from you. We hope to see you and your family in a class soon. Right? I think that's cool. That's cool instead of the scarcity thing. And it fits our purpose of live your best life. So we started from the beginning. Your website, what does it say about you? Your social media, what does it say about you? And if you're connecting with your avatar, right, your ideal demographic, then I believe you're going to do so much better. But if everything at social media or your website, because my website should be strictly be sales based, lead generating, that's it. Opt in right now, clock ticking, sign up, right? I think they're never going to hear your story. Because remember, you're not selling a weight loss drug. You're not selling mushroom coffee. So I don't follow a lot of the vanity metrics and algorithms that Facebook or other social media platforms will produce on what are best practices for selling a product or a service. What we're trying to do is control a 3 to 5 mile radius of our brick and mortar location. And to do that in a native way is to build relationships. Any business, whether it's a pizza parlor, a dentist, or anybody, we're about building relationships. I don't care who you are, who sells me Ozempic or mushroom coffee. I don't even know who you are. I don't care who you are. It's just a drop ship, right? So I think we need to rethink that one too. And even as much as I love Market Muscles, I scrutinize the website, each word, each page, and I'm still doing it. I do it all the time. Why? Because Google likes a dynamic website. You want your website constantly being updated, whether it's a picture, changing a headline, putting a couple more keywords into the copy, things like that. I think all of that shows that your business is alive and well and active. So, and again, make sure you do the same with your Google business page. Tell me you do. Super important, right? All right. So they opted in. What email flow do you produce? Right? What does the email flow say? Got to sign up. Got to sign up. Sign up now. Scarcity. 3 spots left. You only have 2 minutes more. No way. No way. I actually went in and, for our day camp, and the subject line is, hear this mom's story of her son's transformation. So it's like email number 3. And in email number 3, we took the review, and this is where ChatGPT was brilliant. I said, take this woman's review and write me a story. right, about his experience in day camp. And it didn't veer from it. It said he broke a board. It said after a day, he was loving the camp. And all of that was straight from her review. But it was just told in a story fashion. And I dug it. I dig stuff like that about ChatGPT. So that's going to be like the third email. Because you can't just, like Gary Vee said it so well, you jab, 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 cross, right? So it's benefit, benefit, benefit. Then you can sell. I'm not saying selling is bad. And somebody posted that yesterday. It wasn't about me, but they said as consultants in general, if you're such a great consultant, then aren't people going to you? Why are you out there marketing yourself? I'm like, that's not a smart question. Any business should market themselves, no matter how good they are. Apple still has ads, right? No matter how good we are. So we do, but we want to be very mindful of what that means. All right. Anybody else coming aboard? As you come aboard, please say hello. Tell us where you're tuning in from. We appreciate you because I like to know who's hanging with me. That's so sweet. Ralph Hodel from Excellent Martial Arts in Switzerland reached out and he said, I won't be on the show today. I'm in Japan. He's doing some training in his martial arts. I thought that was very kind and very cool. So thank you, Ralph. All right. So we've tightened up our website. We're now into our email flows. We're telling stories, testimonials, everything. We're telling stories, right? And of course, every other email, there's a link to sign up for a trial. All right. So now we've got them to sign up for the trial. What happens next? We need to get them to show, right? You got to show. We all know what that's like to book a bunch of trials and be all happy and excited. I got 5 trials coming in today, and then 1 shows, right? It's a big letdown. So then this is like the second layer. You have to prime them to come in. How do we do that? Well, of course, we're letting them know we've been serving families for 25 years. We let them know we're Bay Area Parents Hall of Fame winner. We let them know here's a testimonial by a mom, and here's the transformation of her son. Right? We let them know. I mean, the things you want to let them know, and we, of course, we have other incentives. We give them a T-shirt now, which ironically, I didn't know if it was going to work or not. But there's a woman named Terry Lee that has a school here, maybe about 40 minutes south of here, and she has 800 students. She does no digital media whatsoever. But what she's really, really, really big on is giving people T-shirts. That's it. So people wear her T-shirts everywhere. They're walking billboards, right? But we're going, wow, that's pretty expensive. Giving away T-shirts? What if they don't sign up? You've missed the boat on that. See, that's an example of stepping over a dollar to pick up a penny, right? I give them a T-shirt. They don't sign up. I gave away 50 T-shirts this month. Well, that's 50 people walking around your neighborhood. If you have a decent T-shirt, people are going to wear it, and they're going to wear it with pride. And who knows? Maybe that one day they put it on that T-shirt and go to their elementary school that day. They see another kid. I go to one martial arts. You do? Oh, boom. Let me come in for the trial. Mom, I found out my friend goes to one martial arts. I mean, just storyboard the crap out of that. If somebody has one of your T-shirts and they actually wear it, the potential of other students to me it's a no-brainer now. So I found out last week that out of the 7 trials or 8 trials I had, 5 signed up. Is that just because I'm good at doing the trial? Maybe so, but I'd like to believe giving them a T-shirt is a great thing. And imagine on the day they're supposed to come in for the trial, they get a text from you, and that text says, hey, this is Brannon Beliso, a team member of at One Martial Arts Millbrae. We look forward to seeing you and Jimmy today at 4:15 in our white belt beginner class. We have a T-shirt ready to go for him. I remember you told me size medium, right? Something is just like that. Another thing we're putting in that flow is a video, right? Hey, this is Brannon Beliso over here at One Martial Arts Millbrae. We look forward to seeing you on Tuesday at 4:15 on our youth karate class. Let me give you a little overview. Parking's really easy. Show parking's easy. Coming in the front door. When you come in the front door, you're going to see your name. It's there in an acrylic frame. There'll be a handout there for you to grab, and feel free to grab a seat, sit down and read. We'll be with you shortly because we don't have front desk people, right? So we want to give them a very clear picture of what to expect. And so I think that's going to be valuable too. And all those things lead up to getting the trial to actually show up. Okay. Then we talk about the storyboarding, right? You walk in that front door. If the first thing you see is your name, printed on a really nice flyer, branded side by side with one martial arts, and all that. It has a huge impact. I actually had to give a couple of them to trials because I watch parents take out their phone and take a picture of it. I want you to think about that for a moment. So it has huge impact. Why? Because we're fulfilling a purpose. Now, ours is live your best life. I am not living my best life if I don't know you really, and I come into your school for a trial. Nobody acknowledges me. I have nothing going on because everybody's on the mat teaching. In our case, right? Because we don't have front desk people. But when you walk in and you've already watched the video that says when you come through the door, you're going to see your name in this frame, pick up the handout, grab a seat, feel free to read it. We'll be with you shortly. So we're very clear about that. Hey, what's up, Miss Monique? Miss Monique is there. As I say, Miss Moeek. And we also have Herman Macon. Herman. And what is Herman sharing with us there, Marco? We teach at an elementary twice a week. And I was thinking about giving the kids a t-shirt that, yeah, absolutely, sir. It's like that, I don't know, what was it called? Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of the team. Yeah. Anytime people can feel part of something special, Herman, they're going to want to be more loyal to the brand, right? If I feel like I'm part of something special, it helps me to believe in it. And again, if you study Maslow's theory of hierarchy, where he taught laws of hierarchy, one of the things is belonging. People want to belong. So again, everything leading up is to let them know you belong here, right? You belong here at One Martial Arts. So whether it's the website, social media posts, all those different things, even if I show an image of a kid in a class, that kid looks like they belong there. They feel special. That's why we don't post a lot of pictures of me choking out somebody, or one of my guys, breaking boards or kicking the ceiling. The hero of our story is the kid. It's the same thing here. So when we're cultivating these emails, we're cultivating that experience. When they walk through the front door, they are the hero. And the better we can inform the parents and the child, the clear expectations they have, it makes the experience so much better. So now they're sitting there with a handout, reading about the program. The schedule's there. There's a QR code to sign up for a membership. There's testimonials there. And of course, there's pricing. The three main things they need answered is, can I try it? What's the schedule? And how much does it cost? Those are the three questions that have never changed ever in our industry once kids started to take martial arts and parents are trying to sign them up. So we want to make sure by the time they're in our school, they have that information. But we also give it up front. The very first text you get from us, hey, congratulations on taking your first step to live your best life. At One Martial Arts, here's the schedule. At One Martial Arts, here's our tuition investments. We don't use the word membership. Take it out. We don't use the word gym. Take it out. We don't use the word coaches. Take it out. If you're using any of those three things right now, take them out. Because once you position your martial arts school as an environment of higher learning, if you actually get viewed as an investment, then the longevity is there. Because anybody that's an investor of any kind, right, that it's long-term investing that yields you the greatest results. So, do you have a social media post that says that? Invest in your child's future. Are you running a Facebook ad? Invest in your child's future. Does your website say invest in your child's future, right? All those things help tell the story that you are truly an environment, and you will never do that. Somebody said the other day, well, at our gym, I said, what? You're what? Aren't you a martial arts school? Yeah, but we call it a gym. Don't do that. Planet Fitness is a gym. And you know what their memberships are? $10 a month. Stop it. Don't do that. You're totally positioning your business in a wrong way. Wrong way. And I told one of my jujitsu buddies, don't use the word coach. Don't use the word coach. We're actually at the point we're probably going to get rid of Sifu, and we have, I don't know, we have Sifu and Sibak, all these words in Kenpo that mean nothing to Joe E. Public. Now, I'm a professor. I'm a ninth degree. Does that sound really good if you're a martial arts school? Yes. Yes, it is. It's really, really good. Real good? No, it's real good. So I may keep the professor, but other than that, I think we're going to move everybody to teacher. When I teach my 3 and 4-year-olds yesterday, I don't use professor. I use teacher. Teacher, because they're conditioned to that from preschool all the way through, elementary into middle school. Teacher, my teacher. They don't hear the word professor until college, right? Okay, meet them where they're at. Meet them where they're at. So They're sitting there, they're reading this great handout, they see the prices, they see the schedule, right? All of it's there. All of it's there. Then the instructor will come up to them during the break and they'll ask them that question, after they introduce themselves to the child. And of course, appropriate. I don't walk up there like a drill sergeant going, "Good afternoon, sir. What is your name?" "Johnny." "You need to answer me, Johnny, sir." No, you meet them where they're at. Get down to eye level, right? If they're shy, give them a little space. If they're more assertive, then mirror them. There's nothing better than mirror and matching a person's energy, right? Especially when it comes to kids, because it immediately puts down the guard of the parent who thinks, please don't think my kid's an idiot. I know they're bouncing off the walls and they're running all over your school. And I'm a parent. I feel the same way because I think my child is a reflection of me. They're their own self. So the first we do is mimic the child, get down to their level, right? And also, when the parent, you can see the look on parents' face all the time. We just let them know they're just doing 3, they're just doing 4, right? They're just doing 6. But when you got a brand new parent that's only got one child, they have no idea what to expect out of their freaking kid. They might have seen other people's kids, but when it's your kid and they're 4 bouncing off the walls, right? You're embarrassed because you don't know how to act because you've never been the parent of a 4-year-old kid. Are you with me? Empathy has become the mantra in everything that we cultivate in these processes. So we let them know they're just doing 4. It's cool, right? You want to sit there and just watch the class? You can do that today, Johnny. If you come on the mat, though, you'll get to break a board. The different processes we have in place to help mitigate. But ultimately, we would never, ever, ever, ever use fear-based thinking to manipulate a child to get on the mat. Other night, I had a girl with very severe anxiety, right? A teenage girl, and she would not even walk into the school, and she was having a full-blown attack. I am not inserting myself into that space. It's very dangerous. It's detrimental, right? They don't even know you, and they're in the middle of an anxiety attack, and you're going to go there and be Helen Keller, the miracle worker? No, you're not. You're going to respect the parent. And we talk to the parents very shortly, let them know that we truly believe this is a supportive environment, and maybe they should schedule another one. They were already feeling overwhelmed and embarrassed because the daughter wouldn't come through the door. Imagine if we went out there and made it worse. See? So again, the reason I believe we behave this way as a team now more than ever, because we're not worried about closing the deal. I know we all need new students. Please never mistake what I'm saying to you now. I know I need new students. I know how much my rent is. I know what my payroll is. So we will always, 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 always have the need to get new students. But if I approach getting new students with a deep sense of fear, I already am going to create a wedge between me and the potential client. And I'm not making my team sell. That's why we don't do quotas each month. We don't do bonuses. We do none of that stuff. None of it. I don't believe in it. What we do believe in is creating that experience. So great. Now they've told us their child would like to learn focus and discipline. The good news is we can grab the Kids Love Life Skills student parent discovery sheet for focus and one for discipline. We hand it to the parent and they go, wow. And I say, I think that's what really makes what we do very unique is I know as a parent, again, know how parents think, that no child is born with focus or discipline or confidence. I watch the anxiety level of my parents go like this. Boom. Especially if they have a child that potentially might have some special need, ADD, ADHD. They might be somewhere on the spectrum. They know that their child is challenged. But if you take all hope away from them by going, oh, your kid's got ADHD? Are they medicated? Huh? We're not equipped for that. And sometimes I believe school owners really pass that boundary. What I can say, the good news I've learned as a parent is no child is born with confidence. Nobody's born with focus or discipline. But you know what? If they learn it, they practice it, it can become a habit and a tool they can use. Cool, right? So now they have this great handout with the prices, the philosophy of the program, the schedule, everything's there. They have this great handouts for discipline and focus is what they're after. And then we let them know, here's the bathrooms. And of course, some of you might do a school tour. Our schools are set up where we can go to a couple of key focal points. And I talked about that a lot. You should at least have 2 to 3 strong focal points you can share on the school tour. One of the ones we have is the coloring wall. And somebody criticized me for that because I posted a video and they said, again, your schools look so well, but I got to be honest with you. Um, this coloring wall, looks pretty shitty. I said, why? They go, look at that kid. He can't even color. That's nasty. And it's just going off on me, just going off. And I said, well, again, I understand my avatar, right? These are parents. And I remember walking into both my son and my daughter's kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, until they went into middle school. When it's back to school night, right? Think of back to school night. What's the first thing we do when we go into our child's classroom? Can anybody put it in there? Nobody? Nobody's got anything for me? And if you're coming aboard, I want you to say hello. Let me know that you're hanging out with us. Okay. I looked for what art projects he had on the wall. That's what I did, right? Both my son and daughter. Ooh, what's display? Makes me proud as a parent. So that's what that coloring wall serves. When you walk a parent up to that coloring wall and they see all these coloring sheets, right? Respect, discipline, focus, confidence, all those different things. Guess what? It speaks education. Education. That's why I don't have a rabbit or a dog or a dragon or anything like that. The child does not make the buying decision, the parent does. And I want to really present ourselves in the highest level of education as possible, right? Somebody said that with Kids Love Life Skills. How come you don't have a mascot and some animation and da 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 da? I have a great, illustrated children's book on focus, but it's done from a parent and child's perspective. Again, this is very strategic. So the coloring wall is a focal point. The one I'm finishing up, I've been working on for a while, is a collage. And in this collage, all black and white photos. Kid is a white belt, kid is a black belt with his certificate. So it's a bunch of those. And in the middle, it talks about why one martial arts is the best investment for your child's personal development and future, because that's the picture we want to paint, right? People say all the time, what's my cost per lead? What's my cost of student acquisition? Would you even care what that number was if you knew for a fact every student that signed up was going to stay with you for 4 to 5 years? You wouldn't, right? So we spend our time really, really, really doubling down on that. Okay. So we did the school tour. Those are two of our focal points. I hope you have some focal points that tell your story and answer the question that every parent has in their mind. Why do they want to choose you over any other activity for their child right now? That's it. It's not just the martial arts school down the street. It's soccer, baseball, swimming, gymnastics, everything. I was at Sunday, my daughter had a soccer game. And I looked at the field and there was kids, they looked like 2 or 3. Why is it that every freaking kid does soccer? Why? Why is it so mainstream? Right? I know it's big, the World Cup and all that. So I look at that data all the time. And I look at people's behavior. I look at the actions. I look at the organization, all those things. And I wonder why things like soccer, basketball, baseball, they're still bigger numbers than martial arts. Still bigger numbers than martial arts. And that's a whole nother subject that we can talk about potentially next week. Cool. Thanks, Miss Monique. She said, I look for my kids' stuff. Okay. So we did the school tour. We start the class, right? I used to do 2 private lessons alone with me, right? And that worked really, really well at one point because I taught the majority of the classes, right? So it was kind of this thing that I was converting at about 90 to 95%. And then they came to the class and they got me. Okay. The problem was the minute we started moving to other people teaching as the numbers grew in our school, and they weren't getting me. Right. So there was this huge rift that, hey, man, I took a lesson with you and you're not the one teaching. So one, we eliminated for that reason. Two, it's not the product they're buying. It is not the product they're buying. They are not buying private lessons. They are buying group classes. Now, I know people who swear by it. And as soon as you finish that private lesson, the desk is right there in this controlled room, and they're going to close you on a 1-year contract. So be it. That is your philosophy. More power to you. But for us, it's not. That's not the way we choose to do business, right? And so I stopped doing that, but I did understand the value of the one-on-one time. So the kid starts out, they do the warm up, which every kid can do a push up, jumping jack, right? It's not like you're asking them to, do a tornado kick. You just want them to do the warm up with the class. But what I think it also is a telltale to for us as instructors is, can they, you know, thrive in a group environment? I know I've done those privates and got the kid into class going, whoa, this isn't the kid. He's spinning now and running around. So you want to be mindful that they test drive the car. Warm up, stretch, meditation, life talk. Then we move them over to an area on the mat still, closest to where the parent is sitting. And we actually have a designated area for that. And then we do a mini private, right? It's about a 20-minute thing. I have a great 4-page document. I'll post it in my different groups. I'll post it so that you can have it. And it just goes to a story of the best parts of the martial arts. The first one is respect. Treat people the way you want to be treated. How do you want to be treated? Well. So how do you treat people? Well. Okay. So where does respect begin? Self-respect. Let's respect our body and do some push-ups and sit-ups and jumping jacks. I'm going to tell you why. We avoid the sit-ups now, but we do push-ups and jumping jacks because one of the number one things parents are looking for in an activity for their child is fitness. Write it down. Fitness. And if I can correlate it with the life skill like respect, I've killed 2 birds with 1 stone. So we begin with that. Again, I know they already did it with the group, but doing it with me as I share with the parents when they play soccer, basketball, that is how the coach gauges their athleticism. If you're going to play football for me and you can't even do a push-up, I don't know. I'm going to, you'll probably go down the pecking order at that point. So push-ups and jumping jacks are essential right away, tied into respect. I'm going to tell you why. I did a whole thing with ChatGPT, and I asked it everywhere, all the way around the world, from Somalia to England to Canada to Australia. What are the 4 top things parents look for in an activity for their child? And I don't care what country you were in, what time of day, what demographic, what income level. They all said fitness, safety, supported, and life skills learning. Write those down. If you could do one thing right now to change the way people see your martial arts school, make sure in every handout, in every social media post, at your website, in your classes, in the verbiage in your school, you are always talking about one of those 4 things: fitness, safety, supported, and life skills. Cool? All right. So we just did the respect thing, some jumping jacks, and we did some push-ups. Then we go into focus. Focus is one of the number 1 life skills that every parent wants for their kid. Every parent. Every parent? No, every parent. So we do a drill for focus. And in this case, we do reverse punches. We do them on the pad, right? But I'm going to share what we add in that I think is really, 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 really important. We tell them it's okay to kick and punch pads, but do not kick and punch your brother and sister. Do not kick anybody, because we know in the martial arts, hitting people is wrong. So I think that's the other uphill battle we're often working with. And if you try to go teach in an elementary school, the first big pushback is, are you going to teach these kids to hit? Right? And that's why I wrote the book, The Adventures of Bray and Tay. I can go in there and read a book on focus and be the reader of the day a lot easier in any school than I can to go in there in a karate uniform and them having the myth and illusion we're going to teach people to kick and punch, right? So be mindful of that. So we're able to do that when they're punching the pads. So they learn about focus, right? And they learn that it's okay to kick and punch pads only. Cool? All right. Then another common one that we all teach is attention. How many of you teach someone to stand up tall at attention? Anybody? Put it in the comments. We all do. We all do. So we teach the child that, but we correlate it with confidence. Another reason why parents bring kids to the martial arts. And we show them, can you say confidence? Confidence. Confidence means to believe in yourself. Can you tell me what confidence means? To believe in yourself. Awesome. And a person who believes in themselves stands up tall with their feet together, their shoulders back, looking at that person right in the eye with their head held high. Can you show me that, please? Awesome. Now, you just learned martial arts. And I go, what? And this again ties into we don't teach violence, right? But we address the bullying factor right now. Who do you think a bad kid at school or a bully's going to pick on? You, who stands here like this with confidence, tall and strong, or a kid who walks around school with their head down like this? Every kid, even if they're not a bully, will say 99.9% of the time the first person who stands with confidence, right? Boom. And that's the cool thing right there without saying anything. You've given this kid a tool to reduce bullying without ever having to raise a hand. And that's by design, people, because I know I'm dealing with that uphill battle. We're going to teach their kid violence. We don't want them to hit their brother and sister, right? We've all had that scenario of somebody coming through the door. But here's where the investment part comes in. We look at the child, and in our case, because where we're located, we say, and when you walk into Stanford for the interview for the full scholarship, can you please stand like this? And of course, the kid is looking at you like, what? I'm 7, I'm 6. I don't know what you're talking about. No, that's the segue when we look over at the parent and we look that parent in the eye and we say, it starts right now. And this is why parents view us as an investment for their child's personal development and future. And do you know what Cornell, Stanford, and UC Berkeley have in common, Mom? They all have students who have earned black belts at one martial arts. I don't need to paint "We are a black belt school" up on the freaking wall. That means nothing compared to a one-on-one conversation like that with a parent. Now, do you believe that little story I told you right there, that little scene in the movie, that chapter in the book, has legs to get a parent to make the decision to want to enroll their child in your school? I think so. I think so. Yeah, I've really worked on that little 2-minute experience because for me, it's life changing. And when I know that people actually earn black belts and go on to colleges like that, when I know that as a parent, my child needs this personal development now for their future right now, and this is not just 6 weeks of soccer, that takes care of it. So no matter what trial you do, the two things I lean heavy into. One, we don't teach your child to hurt people. They won't hit their brother and sister. They'll learn here that fighting is wrong. Two, we really position ourselves as that life skills leader. You should what? You should use what? What's James telling us to use? You should use uncle. Uncle for what? I'm not sure what James is talking about. Right? So we're ever mindful of that. We're ever mindful of that. So now, and then the third part that we do, again, going back to the whole bullying thing, because that is one of the number one reasons why, kids in elementary, latter part, second grade until about middle school, they are looking at bullying. The other environments are pretty controlled. Oh yeah, uncle's cool. Yeah, I get that, with all of it, because we live in a very rich Asian community, James, and I have kids that call me uncle that not even my blood nieces or nephews. It's a sign of respect, especially with Chinese people, right? And Filipino. They'll call people uncle, you know. Yeah, yeah. It's been that way here forever, and they don't. Yeah, so I mean that could be a consideration too, James. I never thought of that one. That could be pretty cool. All right. It's just we have such a diverse culture. I'm sure there'll be some people that go, "What do you mean, uncle? You're not my brother. Why would you have my kid call you uncle?" Right? So, but not a bad idea. All right. So then the next thing we do, um, of course, they should get to break a board. Tell me they break a board in their trial. I know, as corny as it is, it just works. It just is. It's that aha Miyagi moment. A kid breaks the board, but please don't make it a re-breakable board. Spend the money, please spend the money, and let them break a board they can take home and show off to grandma and be proud and look what I did. Because what it creates is a lasting impression. That board goes home with them. They're hit clanking on it in the car, hitting the two pieces together. I broke this. And, again, thinking that through. You can't just step over a dollar to pick up a penny. But if I live in the state of fear, that, well, if they don't sign up, they got a board and a t-shirt. That costs me money. It's going to cost you money anyways. Why not put your best foot forward and do everything you believe within your power to get this child to want to sign up? Cool? All right. So then we teach them what we call as our right self-defense stance. And all they do is step back with their right foot and put their hands up like this. Okay? And we say to them, think of the crossing guard at school. What does this say? Stop. That's right, because we want the bad kid to stop. We don't want them to hurt us. And if a bad kid's going to hurt you, we don't say punch or hit. They're going to probably touch your face. Okay? So keep your hands up like this. And that way they can't touch your face. We want to stay away from words like punch you or, annihilate you. We want to stay away from that. But if you say touch your face, things like that, or grab you, we don't want them to grab you. So put your hands up like this. Things like that kind of soften the blow. All right. Then we say, when you put your right foot back, I want you to say, stop, or I will tell the teacher. And we practice that because we share with them, and this is important. If a bad kid is bothering you at school, what do? You use your words and you tell them to stop, or you walk away, or you go tell the teacher, and the kid fills in your blanks. So they do that a couple of times, and they parents again, because we say, okay, this means what? Stop. What does this mean? Fight. And we know in the martial arts, we don't want to fight. We understand fighting is wrong. Now, here's the important part. It's all important. But we do believe in self-defense. But I cannot tell you if it's okay to defend yourself. You only ask that from your parents. And that, again, respects the boundaries of the parent, right? Right? If we're standing there going, if somebody attacks you, you must do a rear naked choke followed by a groin stomp, all a Master Ken. We choose not to do that. We put that responsibility in the parents' hands. Okay? Well, we had that last night. Someone signed up for the trial. The trial was converting, and they were watching the class, and my next class was a sparring class. So we go from telling them not to kick and punch each other to a full-on sparring class, where they're hitting each other. But I did. I walked over the pen and I said, and at some point, if you choose, and if they're going to earn a black belt here at One Martial Arts, they will learn to defend themselves through contact, because that's part of understanding self-defense is there is contact, right? Not punching and kicking. Again, being mindful of the words we choose go a really, really, really long way. You with me? And then from that position here, after we practice that bully drill, stop, or I will tell the teacher, then we get out a pad. They get to kick the pad several times. Then they get ready to break a board. And of course, the first thing, their eyes get really big. I can't do that. But in the martial arts, we always say, yes, I can. Can you say that, please? Yes, I can, because those are the magic words to break the board. Parents got the phone out. We even let them get that phone ready, Mom. They break that board. They give it to the parent. We have the child give the board to the parent. It's magic. That kid lights up like a Christmas tree. They're 10 feet tall. They give that board to the parent. They come back to us. Then we remind them, today you are kicking and punching pads and the boards, correct? When you kick this pad or punch this, does anybody get hurt? No. So we know in the martial arts, kicking and punching people is wrong. And we drill that, and then we thank the kid, give him a high five, send them back into the class, which by that point is probably a game like dodgeball or zombie tag or something fun. So they get to finish with the class. And while that's going on, we'll walk over and talk to the parent. And we don't say, what do you think? Right? They've got lots to think about. They came through the door and saw their kids sign, with their name on it. They got a t-shirt, right? They got this handout with the whole program, the schedule, the pricing, right? Everything's there, right? They got these 2 life skills sheets for focus and discipline. They just experienced this amazing class where you dispelled the myth that we teach violence, where you hit the key points: respect, focus, confidence, right? We hit the key points. We demonstrated fitness. We demonstrated the values of what we do as a whole. We show that we are an investment. We've covered all those bases. What do you think? It's not necessary. What you do want to do is highlight and spotlight. Wasn't that really awesome the way Johnny broke that board today? Yeah, I didn't know he could do that. Yeah, that's the cool thing about what we do. All right. So again, you find commonalities from that experience of that trial, and then you let it go. I know, right? People say you're nuts. I've heard people say to me that it's necessary. Don't let them leave the school without some type of financial commitment. One guy even said, if need be, give them a uniform and say, just cut me a check for this uniform. And if you decide you don't want to sign up, bring the uniform back and I'll refund your money. Oh, God, I would never do that. I don't know. I think we're doing something right. Millbridge is back at 510. San Francisco's at 485, right? We're doing close to $2 million a year. Come on. There's not one way. And I think our industry has really ingrained in your brain there's only one way to be successful, my way. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. But are you living your version of success? Are you making the type of money to create the freedom you deserve? And if you're not, then change is the key. It is. We just revamped our whole, year one experience. We wrote all the curriculum. We did because we want to reduce that attrition rate between 0 months and 18 months. And if I'm coming out of this beginner class and this curriculum it was just like this though. It was so incrementally harder. And we recognize that man, the curriculum we teach as a white belt, it pales in comparison. So we want to get a little more even. So when I leave this white belt and I'm a yellow belt, anything I do in year one will not make me want to quit. Now, it should be challenging. It should be, you want them to be comfortable being uncomfortable, raising the bar. I understand all that. But for us, there was just this huge gap. So we needed to bring it closer together. And that's why I bought $10,000 worth of camera equipment. We shoot all our own curriculum videos. Marco authors them for me graciously. And we have a product that looks as good as the guy I paid $20,000 for. It's just an industrial video. It's an instructional video. It's not freaking Star Wars or a Marvel movie. Good lighting, good microphone, right? And well executed curriculum based upon this has already been taught to you. We're reviewing it and helping you. So again, I understand I make the majority of my money on the mat. So the constant investment in better caring for my team financially, emotionally, spiritually, mentally is so important to me, and upgrading that curriculum. You with me? Yeah. And for me, just as a sidebar, my top guys are in six figures. My top guys bounce between two schools. My top guys are why people pay us $269 a month. I don't have a 17-year-old constantly running my classes. I don't have a 20-year-old constantly running my classes. I would say the majority, 60%, almost 70, is taught by these two key guys. That to me is our philosophy, right? It's a huge difference. But that's why one guy doesn't stay in one location. My top tier guys move between two locations. Okay, that's our philosophy. So that's our trial experience. And then after that, we have a trial to conversion email flow that goes through the same thing. Here's some testimonials. This is what Johnny did well today. And then it eventually ends with, permission to bother you, right? And it's a Kovar thing, and I really love it. And it just says, hey, I know we're busy, and we respect that, your family's not ready to make a decision right now, but we're always here. We are always here. And if and when you decide you want to start this martial arts journey to live your best life, we'll be right here. But can I have permission to bother you every once in a while with an email? Right? And we leave that door open too. We leave that door open too. Because when somebody says, I need to go talk to my husband, freaking go talk, let them talk to their husband. Right? But we're mindful in the text that you get before you show up to the trial, we let them know. Could somebody please that's going to help make this decision be present? Because it doesn't help if a nanny brings the kid, right? Or the grandparents bring the kid. It's really important that one of the decision makers are there. are there. So, but I wouldn't say, the person who's buying it or the purchasing power. I would lean into something like, we please request that at least one of the parents who are going to help make this great decision for your child's personal development and future are present. See, isn't that the same thing, but said in the right way? So I'm a huge advocate of phrasing and words and positioning, but all of this adds up to what? I want you to put it in the comments. What's your biggest takeaways today? Put it in. And while they're doing that, Marco, let's kind of go through our routine. We have coming up in November, we have It's Time Live Freedom, and promptly titled Freedom. The freedom I enjoy today is only because of my willingness to change. But it's a willingness to change based upon a clear purpose, live your best life, and then the discipline to execute it consistently into fruition. Into fruition. I was there till 2:30 the other night shooting new curriculum videos because I'm committed to the freedom I enjoy today. I can't magically sit here in this chair and believe I'm going to have freedom. It's not going to happen. You have to do the work, but you have to do the right work. You got to do the right work. And I can only express that to you enough. So do consider It's Time Life Freedom, November 8th through 11th. We only take 20 school owners. That's been our discipline for 9 years. We'll continue to do that because you'll spend 4 days in an environment of enlightenment. This is one of the spots I chose this because it's the first time we went to this beach. It was requested by the regulars. I like the water because I think it's important for learning. And this time we went to this beautiful beach, night and day, just night and day. So I just chose to put this shot in there. But it's some of the freedom I enjoy today. Only 20 school owners. Maybe you can put it in there. Maybe you can put that in there, Marco, the link for that. And then, of course, our It's Time group mentoring, me, Marco, Jason, and Monique, all small school owners, trying to do this thing. They're active, they're in their schools, they're growing them, they deal with the shortcomings like all of us do. But I believe we are in a better position to mentor than a lot of people in our industry that haven't owned schools in decades, yet they consult. It doesn't make sense to me. They say it's like a football coach. He used to play football, but he coaches now. It's a little bit different. I believe it's a lot different, right? I think what we do requires a certain amount of on hands, presence in our business. I'm very passionate about that. So I believe our mentoring group, which I think is extremely affordable for the school owners who are really wanting to make those changes and grow their schools, it's a great thing. And Marco put in the link for that as well. Cool. And let's thank our sponsors. Tucson, Market Muscles, My Studio, Kids of Life Skills, LC Accounting, and Kin Creative. Again, all businesses I love, people I work with. They have a huge impact on what I do. So what are your big takeaways? I was hoping to see some there. Anybody got something there? If you got something, posted in there. But in summary, once I took fear off the table, now again, we all need new students. I'm very clear on that, right? But every choice I make, every email I craft, every drill I designed always is to do one thing, close the deal. I'll never tell the story. I'll never be transparent. I'll never be authentic because all of it is rooted in fear. If I really believe in what we do, now I'm not saying with ego. There was no ego at 2:30 in the morning finishing up those videos. Zero ego when I'm reshooting those videos for the fourth time because the team's telling me it's not translating when we teach this. This 7-year-old's not getting it. We need to count this differently. We need to teach it this way, right? There's no ego there. It's pure humility. And that humility is my dedication to creating curriculum that people can comprehend and understand. Like Michael J. Fox said, if a student doesn't learn the way you teach the way they learn, right? So I think that's real important, especially when it comes to this trial process, because our goal is to convert more. So whether it's a onboarding video of what to expect when you get here, to giving them a t-shirt, to having a nice printed sign, do not write it on a freaking whiteboard. I'm not some granola coffee shop writing a special on a blackboard. You are what? An environment of higher learning. Take the time to go into Canva, print it out, put it in an acrylic frame. It'll make all the difference in the world, right? To the key things you teach in the trial that communicate, your culture as well as covers. We don't teach violence. It covers We support you. It covers we're safe. It covers life skills, and it covers fitness. You do those 4 things consistently in everything from your website to Google business page to Instagram to the actual trial to the daily experience they get in your classes. You are going to see a higher retention, a lower attrition, and more of those trials convert to students. Cool? You hear my passion, you hear my love for this. There's no doubt, and I just want to see you successful. I do. And I will continue. We just finished our 171. Marco, is this our 171 episode? Is that what today is? Wow, that's a trip. That's a trip. So I just want to thank you. People like Bob, who's been here from all the time. I look forward to you, Bob, right? I get to see you every Friday and know that you're there, hoping that what I share with you can have some impact on your school and make a difference. There's nothing at this point in my life of success and where I am other than to see you successful. Right. And I mean, people pay me a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not just sitting here on a rock, just giving stuff away. But when I can give you this show and somebody comes back at me and says, hey, man, I got this out of it and this is what it's done for me. That's kind of cool. It's really cool. So how do you find me? You can find me where? At YouTube. Subscribe to this podcast, Success Never Sleeps. There's 171 episodes there, I believe. Go ahead and check that out. You can hear our show on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, iTunes, all the major platforms. It's there. Subscribe to our, did I say YouTube channel? I did. Follow me at Instagram and join our Disruptor group. And do stay close. Stay close. I'm always mining data. I'm always discovering new things. I'm the guy who fails forward very well. Fail forward. So it might save you some pain and suffering. Cool. Thanks to Marco for holding down the fort. People, I am Brannon Beliso. This is Success Never Sleeps. Until we talk again, what are you going to go out there and do? Live your best life.